Alright, some out of context quotes from here at this group of baseball fields. First one, I have no idea what the bathing habits of monks are. So that one was, I'll explain it. A guy was talking about monks a lot. He wasn't one, but he was talking about them a lot. And I would like stop him and ask him questions to try to get more detailed information about the monks. And at some point he was talking about showers also. And I think I said like, you said you would have showered yesterday if you were a monk, or that's how they do it, not today, like once every 2 days, like 3 times weekly. And I asked so many questions, he just like, he was done with it. He said, I have no idea what the bathing habits of monks are. But then he kept talking about monks for a while. Guy said, I don't think I'm an alcoholic. I don't really remember what led to that, but that's hilarious because I figure most people who are don't admit it. So like a very, very large portion of the people who are alcoholics would say that. It's almost like a prerequisite for being an alcoholic to not know if you are one. So it was ironic, that statement. Next one, trying to keep you out of the wind here, was from a Trooper Thursday. The quote was, how am I going to retire on $5,000? I actually missed a lot of that conversation, but I think someone was suggesting a money-making endeavor, and although that person wasn't done explaining it, like the first step led to a profit of $5,000, and the other guy thought that was the end of the entire proposition. And he said, how am I going to retire on $5,000? Like, it was supposed to be something huge that you could retire off of. Did you want his drive home to be fatal? That was actually me. You know, sometimes a guy will lose a hand, he'll say something like, half jokingly, like, oh, I hope you get hit by a bus, something like that. There was a guy saying things like that, and at first, we all thought he was, like, kidding, like, man, he lost the hand, but kidding. And then he got, like, he kept saying it, and it was, like, very serious, and he was never, like, laughing afterwards. And once the guy who was beating him left, I felt comfortable enough to ask him, and I asked the guy, like, because I think he kept saying, like, I hope you die in a car crash on your way home or something. And it went from like, we thought he was joking to not. And then once the guy who was winning and beating him left the table, then I asked the guy who was saying this, do you really want his drive home to be fatal? Because I wasn't sure, and I wanted the information. And I never got an answer. I'm pretty sure it was no, but never got an official answer on that one. And yeah, there have been like hurricanes in the area. If a bunch of my recent videos have been windy, what can I do about it? But interesting pair of baseball fields right here. This one, the only home run I ever hit in my life, I'll get to the last out of context quote in a minute. Only home run I ever hit in my life that went over a fence, because most of our fields growing up didn't have fences, or they were so far away it didn't matter. Like, we were playing on like MLB sized fields when we were like 8. So like, you know, the bases aren't 90 feet at that time, but you know, no one's changing the length of the fences from home plate. So they were either so far away, it was as if there was no fence, or there was literally no fence. So you're just like playing at a schoolyard or somewhere, and there's just like the woods. So this field over here does have an outfield fence. It was my only home run ever on an outfield fence. I think I was 8 years old, and it was to the opposite field, which is hilarious. And this field over here, I had a walk-off triple, which is rare. It's possible, but it's rare. Usually the guy just stops at second base. But if the winning run scored from first and that guy went 3 bases, the batter is allowed to go 3 bases and get his triple, and I wanted every base I could get. I think the most recent one, I think like 15 years ago, Deandre Navarro had one on the Reds. You'll have to check me on that. But I'm pretty sure like a Reds catcher had one, and it's rare because people don't usually care about getting the extra base, or they just kind of in that situation get to second and stop and watch the play, and they don't go to third even though you're allowed to. So walk-off triples are rare. Anyway, last one. Guy said, last out of context quote from the poker table. Guy said he was on a roller coaster, the one that goes up. What I think he meant was a guy having a rocky session. I think that's who he was talking about. I'm pretty sure he meant he's been having a roller coaster type of session right now, like he's on another way up, like he's been winning his last few hands, so he's getting up to the top again. But yeah, all roller coasters at some point go up. There's not a subset of roller coasters that go up, and then there are some that never do. I mean, that's just, you know, that's just like a trolley, a subway. So all roller coasters go up and all roller coasters go down, but I don't think that guy really said what he meant to say. So there you go. out of context quotes from the poker table, and now I'm gonna leave.